All right, everybody. We're gonna get started with the meeting. And welcome today on Wednesday, April 12th for our second to last quarterly budget reporting meeting. Roll call. I'm here as the chair. Councilmember Moreno is here. Councilmember Harris is as well. We'll wait to approve the minutes until we have a quorum. And because we have guests who are here, specifically the criminal district court judges, we'll cede the floor to you right now. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. We appreciate everyone this morning. Or this afternoon, actually. I am Tracy Fleming Stavalier. I am the Deputy Chief Judge for Criminal District Court for Orleans Parish, appearing on behalf of the court. And along with me, I have two of our administrators. So let you all introduce yourselves.
I'm Tommy Vassar, the CFO for the Criminal District Court.
Shannon Sims, Deputy Judicial Administrator.
All right. All right. So do you all want us to just start with our update?
Yeah, why don't you start with the update? And sometimes we get really excited and have questions in the middle, and sometimes we save them to the end. So we'll see how we roll today.
Okay, so we have a number of different issues we would like to update you on. First is with respect to the capital projects. And we've been in communication with your office, Councilmember Giarrusso, regarding the money that was allocated by the council. Again, thank you all for that allocation. We greatly appreciate the support. Jurors have been obviously expressing their concerns about the way in which, in the manner of the jury lounges, the way that everything looks. We've been doing our best to maintain repairs, but we are looking to firmly, as you all know, basically renovate all of the jury lounges in all 12 sections of court. We do have a couple of poster boards that we previously presented. We received an email basically indicating that $5 million has been $4 million, has been appropriated from capital projects. And so we're just working out the logistics, I think, with the Vince Smith, in terms of receiving those funds. And Councilmember Giarrusso's office is assisting us with making sure that we get those funds. Was there anything you wanted to add regarding your communications, Ms. Sims?
No, none at all.
Judge, may I say this? I saw, I think, Judge Pittman's jury room. I'm gonna use a term of art. It's gross. I mean, it is, and I hear all of my colleagues going, yeah. So, and Ms. Sims, if you want to show the photos, I mean, we're not doing this. Yeah, right. You can see the molds and you can see the dilapidated conditions that they're in. And the bottom line, I think you and Judge Pittman really impressed upon me, is the public doesn't interface every day with criminal court or with necessarily city government, but it's not leaving a great impression when they're going sequestered jury rooms, deliberating, spending time there, and you have mold and things falling off. So you don't have to say it. We're saying it, and we want to make sure that the collective we are part of the solution in helping getting those capital repairs.
And we bring the pictures not for any dramatic effect, but actually just to emphasize that why the amount of money that has been requested and allocated is so important, because it is a good amount of money, but we want the public to know that there are dire needs for those funds and they will not be wasted.
And if I could just add, Councilmember Giarrusso, can we just make sure that at least the deputy CAO knows that this money has been allocated? Because they actually said that
I see somebody from the CAO's office here. We'll make note too. We're in regular contact with the CAO's office. Amy, in particular, in my office, has an excellent relationship with them.
Thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Thank you so much. And so next on our update is a security at the South White Street entrance. We have met in person with both District Attorney Jason Williams, as well as the Sheriff Susan Hudson and their staff. And basically we've come to an agreement. And so far it's been working, mostly consistent. If there's an issue, then we are letting the Sheriff's office know. But what we've agreed to is that from 8 a.m. to noon each day. The sheriff will provide a deputy at that South White Street entrance in order to allow the DA's office, ADAs, as well as the victims, victim advocates, and immediate family through the South White Street entrance. At noon, the DA's office will then provide a post-certified investigator from their office who is familiar with and who has been provided with the court's security policies and procedures, who will do the same actions that the deputy would do in the morning, and that person will remain at that door until the last court session has ended or trial has ended for the day. And so with that being said, the judges are comfortable with that. It's been working out. In the event that there is a deputy who is not there or there's no one there, then we are alerting Captain Lawson, Craig Lawson, who is at Criminal District Court, basically overseeing everything. So we think for the most part, it's been working out. We'll keep you abreast of any other issues.
Yeah, and I, thank you for highlighting that. And I think you did an artful job at the end of the capital projects, but also here too, as I know a lot of times cameras like the conflict, but they've reached a solution now between the DA and the sheriff that's working well for the judges.
So we're happy about that. In terms of just our fund balances for jury trials, we wanted to report the jury trials obviously are well underway in 2023 as they had resumed again in 2022. We have received a van. We were in dire need of transportation for our jurors. Some jurors don't have transportation once they are picked for a jury. So we have received transportation through funds that have been allocated for the court. We received one van. We've requested a second van. And so we're happy about that. In addition, for our stats for jury trials, just to report, give you all an update on that. Thus far at the end of this is for 2022. We had 69 jury trials. And then the update for 2023, we've had 13 thus far, but that's through March.
Okay.
So we are having jury trials. Just keep in mind that most cases either resolve in a plea agreement or a trial may be continued for some reason or another. So that's the jury trials update. For purposes of a sanity commission, we have 2 sanity commissions that are appointed to hear our mental competency hearings. Those are well underway. During COVID, during the pandemic, the doctors for the sanity commission were evaluating the defendants via Zoom. They are now resuming evaluating defendants in person. And so we're happy about that as well. In addition, those defendants who need to be transported for restoration services at Eastern Louisiana Mental Health System are now being transported on a more regular basis to get those services so that they can get hopefully those restoration services in place. They can be then returned back to the parish, and then we can proceed with the case in whatever manner is appropriate based on what the competency finding is. So that all helps with case processing and moving our cases along.
Right.
Yes, we just wanted to note that for the Sanity Commission, at this point, we're paying the doctors. Usually it requires twice, 2 payments, $300 for the evaluation and then $300 for the testimony that they give in court. We have not increased that amount since January of 2013. So at some point you may be seeing a slight increase as we try to get a 3rd set of sanity commissioners. We are seeing that, as our caseload continues to increase, there is more of a need to hire additional doctors that can do the sanity evaluations. So we may be looking to increase that a little bit so that we can hire a 3rd set of doctors.
Do you just have an idea of how much you're looking to increase it to? Or, I mean, that's 10 years.
Probably in between 350 and 400.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so not a significant increase because the doctors obviously still have their practices. They're still working in other arenas, but we definitely want to make sure that we can attract some additional doctors
Perfect.
to do those evaluations. For the New Orleans Adult Learning Center, which most people will probably associate with YEP, with the Youth Empowerment Project, we're still continuing to serve as their pass-through for those funds. And looks like everything is going well. We've signed a new lease on behalf of the New Orleans Adult Learning Center. That lease amount increased unfortunately from $7,500 a month to $9,000 a month. So a significant increase for them, but they are still working within the confines of the budget that's been allocated to them. And we just note that the budget was decreased. I think Ms. Sims is going to note that there had been a decrease since 2020.
Yeah, so the decrease was when we were asked to return 20% of the budget. They never got their increase back, so they're operating at a lower rate with the increase in the lease. And actually the lease, based on what's around in that area, we've tried several different places to see about another building, but none that's comparable to the lease amount that we're paying right now.
Oh, sorry, Councilmember Harris.
Where is it located currently?
It is actually located at the corner of Cleveland and South Broad, which is about 3 or 4 blocks from the courthouse. So it's walking distance for those who are in the city.
Okay.
Yes, it's right off of Canal Street.
Okay, I might have some ideas. We can talk offline.
Okay, yes, so I think that for the upcoming budget submission on their behalf, we'll be requesting the amount to restore them, to restore that 20% that was taken or that was requested back
Okay.
by the city
Okay.
in 2020.
Okay,
So just wanted to give you a heads up.
thank you.
On our domestic violence, the city does provide us with some funding with respect to domestic violence. And we wanted to point out that in terms of protective orders, we've issued 515 protective orders in 2022. In 2023, is that 200?
So it's probably switched.
Yeah.
2023 is 515 and then 2023 it's 2011, I think, 2011.
Okay, so you can see the increase. We've issued a number of protective orders as domestic violence cases have been increasing. Those are usually issued by magistrate sections and then by the section judges once we receive the cases. Currently, I'm happy to report and Council Member Helena Moreno has been instrumental in the DV advisory group, is that we are partnering, and we indicated this as well, as we're partnering with Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is our mentor court. And we've established and en banc on last month approved our DV post-disposition specialty court. So we will have a post-disposition specialty court where we will do an additional assessment for those offenders who have been convicted of a domestic violence offense. They will then be assigned to specialty court judges now. Judge Rhonda Good Douglas will be handling our felony high-risk cases, and Judge Juana Lombard will be handling the misdemeanor cases. And then as we need to, we will add additional specialty court judges on to that, but those judges will handle those are post-disposition. And so that way there's more consistency in how the cases are viewed, how the probation reviews are conducted, and any sanctions that need to be imposed for any non-compliance. There's more consistency amongst those particular judges, and that'll be a specialty court. Tulsa, Oklahoma will be visiting us here in New Orleans, and we will also be sending the judges as well as some representatives from the city to visit Tulsa, Oklahoma to look at their court process as well. Again, we've already visited once. And so we're excited about that particular collaboration. We've now hired one additional domestic violence case manager, and we expect to hire upwards of 2 or 3 more case managers to help manage the DV specialty court as well as pre-disposition cases that are referred to DV monitoring court. So we're excited about the level of engagement that the court has and the level of support the court has received from the council. That's what really has allowed us to do this specialty court.
That's great.
All right, and so that's our update
Okay.
on domestic violence. For pretrial services, I think everything is going well in terms of pretrial services. We do have a couple of 3 vacancies I think we're trying to fill for pretrial services. I know that the CEA was supposedly or reportedly presented to the council last week. And so we're just waiting on an update to see if that has been approved for pretrial services.
For pretrial services, y'all are doing that in-house?
Yes,
Okay, so it's not like an individual consultant or anything like that?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
yes. And so if you'll recall, back in 2017, we developed the program to move everybody in-house. So it's remained that way. Yes. Let's see.
I mean, some of these questions we
I
have in
think
here,
that's-
Judge, are,
Pretty much everything. We
Yeah.
don't have, in response to the questions that you all provided, we don't have employees that fit within those capacities. So I don't know if you wanted to add anything to that,
No.
Mr. Vassal.
No, I mean,
Okay.
I think she said it all on that part.
yeah, I mean, some of these are more generic, particularly for city employees. And obviously, if there was any issue for something like a translator, a court reporter, or something where you need additional funding for personnel, we always want to be on top of that because Councilmember Green likes to make sure City of New Orleans is properly staffed. Happy birthday, by the way. Yeah, and just making sure that we don't get to a pinch point where all of a sudden there's a crisis because you don't have enough people. Council Vice President.
Thank you. Just a quick follow-up from some of our previous meetings. When it comes to ensuring that inmates are getting to you all in a timely manner, how is that going? I know that we'd had issues in the past. They were resolved, or getting better at least. Where are we with that now?
So I think that has greatly improved. Defendants are definitely being placed on our jail list on days that, on any day of the week at this point in time, depending on how the judge decides to set the docket and with the district attorney's office and with the defense counsel, excuse me. So the defendants are coming on, for example, in section B, they're coming pretty much daily. And so we found that works obviously to improve our case processing. I think for the most part, the most difficult issues with defendants is when they're appearing in other parishes. So one good thing that the pandemic did bring is the virtual platform of Zoom. And so most of the judges are still using the virtual platform for those types of instances where we have defendants that need to appear from other parishes or from DOC facilities. And then we're also using those Zoom for victims, and then even for probation officers or anybody that makes specific requests to appear via Zoom. So I think for the most part, that's working out. The only other issue that we're still trying to work on is with respect to magistrate court, with respect to the first appearances. So we are trying to work with the sheriff so that we can get defendants over for first appearances as opposed to appearing via Zoom. And that would be during the day and in the evening. That's our main issue that we're left with.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I just ask that question, just Judge, out of curiosity more than anything else? Are you still doing a lot of Zoom hearings, or is that being phased out at this point?
Now, I think for the most part, most judges have elected to sort of phase it out, with the exception of those defendants that need to appear from a different parish. I mean, obviously, it's more cost effective than to have those defendants be transported for a hearing when they can appear on Zoom. So the judges are allowing Zoom hearings for defendants from other parishes, from DOC custody. And then also, if there is a victim who wants to appear, especially if there's a victim is out of state, they are appearing. And then we'll make some other exceptions for other requests. For example, someone may be in the hospital or in a different type of facility, then we're making those requests. But those are made specific to each court.
Okay,
Yes.
that's like the smart way to do things
Yes.
now, is so you don't have to incur costs unnecessarily.
Yeah,
So
a
that's
hybrid.
great.
Yeah, we didn't want to cut Zoom all the way out. We've learned some things from Zoom. And so obviously we want to continue to use the technology where it's beneficial.
Right, we appreciate it. Okay. I don't see any other questions from anybody else. We appreciate you all very much taking time away from your dockets and report to be here. So thank you all.
Thank you
Thank you
all.
so much. Happy birthday, Councilmember Green.
And Todd even has on a St. Alex shirt. So yeah, there you go. All right. Now that we have a quorum here, why don't we approve the minutes from the March 1st, 2023 meeting, moved by Councilmember Moreno, seconded by Councilmember Green. 4 yeas, no nays, and that passes unanimously. I know the juvenile court judges are en route. We have a couple of other people, and we tried to commit to them that we get to them when they get here around 1:45. Is a coroner's office here? Oh. Hang on. Mr. Morgan, did you want to come up for the judges or for another issue? I just got your card, sir. Why don't you come to the microphone, sir? We'll hear you for the next couple of minutes. And while you're coming, is anybody here from the coroner's office? No, I don't see the DA here yet. Clerk of Criminal Court. I know IT, but Nathaniel, can you get through your presentation in 20 minutes? Okay, so, all right, well, we let Mr. Morgan go and we'll just, I guess, maybe stand at ease till the juvenile court judges get here.
Good evening
Alright.
to the council. I'm up here on the behalf of the people of this ad that appeared upon the morning paper concerning the dissent decree. The dissent decree must exist because if it is abolished, it will make Afro-America prone to be mistreated by policemen as they did in the past, and also with my brother who has served in the United States Navy, and 3 days after he was discharged, arrested and beaten up by the police. That is the door that you're going to open if you go it on and let the dissent decree be abolished. And it has no bonding. Each one of you that's sitting on that council chamber, one of your family will be prone to be misused by the police if the dissent decree is abolished. And the saddest part about it is this: she abandoned the city employees from speaking about it. What happened to the Constitution? We the people, that's the foundation of the Constitution. Freedom of speech. You are going to let her deny you that? When you let her deny you that, you know what you're doing in the future? You are opening the doors for this city to adapt to the communist system that is adapted in King Wen-jing over China. The police government the system. Over in Russia, the police governing the system. That's what you want? This city to be a police state where the police is going to govern the system? You playing with a future that is going to dominate this city. That's what you want? But remember what I told you. Each one of you, your child, someone in your family is going to be misused by the police if that system is abolished. And the saddest part about it, the mayor supported, the people supported her. She deceived the people because a lot of people don't know the damage is behind that dissent decree if it is abolished. I call upon every member of the council that's sitting in this chair now. The people put you in there, secure and protect the people, because one goddamn thing about it, if you don't, and when your time comes to run again, I will let the people know that you turn your back on them if you don't support them.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan.
And the saddest part, and the saddest part about it, this woman, she had did more for the people in Georgia Russo. She even tried to destroy the reputation of that car. Because the reason is about that hotel, because she afraid of a random running against her head. And what I learned, anybody on this council support her. Anybody on that council that the mayor support or running for mayor, I'ma speak out against it. Let the people know if you support a member of that council that the mayor supported You're in for the same old system that she afflicted you with. You're sitting, causing hardship and what she has did to your city. So therefore, when you campaign and your campaign support is.
All right, Mr. Morgan, let's,
People not to vote for you because the reason is you're gonna carry.
Mr. Morgan. Mr. Morgan, to your point, Mr. Morgan, about having a forum and being able to talk to people. Just want to remind you that NOPD and the sheriff will be here tomorrow. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. All right, so the CAO isn't here right now. The DA, I assume, is en route, as are the other offices. They're probably surprised the speed with which I moved through all of this. So we'll just stand at ease for the next 10 minutes till juvenile court gets here. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate that. I know the coroner is en route as well. So with that, we turn over the floor to the judges for their presentation. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Good afternoon, council members. I am Candace Bates Anderson, one of the judges at Juvenile Court here in New Orleans. Judge Cook Calvin is on her way. She will be joining us. I know your office was going to call us with a window of time.
Yeah.
So we are just trying to get here.
No,
Also,
great.
I believe that 3 of our other judges expressed their apologies for not being able to make it today. Judge Clinton Smith is in the middle of an important trial. Judge Darrensburg is attending a conference, and Judge Stewart also has a court docket. So, but thank you all. And so we received a letter from the city council